birds. The birds came, they come visit, they fly by the window and the trees, they're out there in nature.
I fed the babies on the deck. Yeah. Hi, here we are.
I know. Here we are. This is how we're showing up. I was like, well, it's 8 o'clock. They'll just at some point figure out we're live.
That's just how we flow into it. I love it.
It's just how we roll.
Hi, friends.
Right? It would be funny. Okay, so we should circle back to that. But I have something I want to share with you guys. So it was very funny because, we've been talking about AI and like the psychology, the user experience, and then also like with our practices for our consultations or what we're doing and being able to like use it as like a holistic practitioner. And me, well, at least Wendy definitely knows this about me. I love research. Sue, hence the medical textbooks on the back here. Anyways, I was looking at it and it's very interesting. And there's tons going on with this, like all over. I pulled, meaning I think eight or 9 articles that are from universities or medical research institutes about AI and people using it as a friend or using it as a holistic practitioner. So I'm going to give you a quick recap. We do not have to talk about this today, but I'm here for it. This is what I do. Might as well share it because, I'm extra. So with the mental health, there's definitely concern as a whole with misrepresentation and harm because of some of the suggestions and it not having discernment. But it also points out that biases are not involved because people, have their own biases from life experience, which is what kind of makes us human. There's a lack of regulation, which is another concern.
Yeah.
There is right. Anyone concerned? There is a loneliness reduction that they have found, like across the board. And because it's like some of the reports I read were specific, like one was pretty extreme in that it was 104 women in a war zone who were using it, and they split the group for therapy versus using a bot, like AI. And the people who got help from therapists, it was something over 40%. This was from NIH. 40% saw an improvement. And then with the bot, it showed 30% improvement. So it was actually pretty close. And it was a short period of time just based off of anxiety. The nice thing about it too is that they have accessibility and support. And so they feel like they're getting that release that they need. And it looks like it's mainly like they're comparing it to like someone doing journaling exercises and self-reflection because they're really getting a lot of their own answers.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the effectivity is good for feeling like people feeling like they've been heard. There's the safety challenges because some of the bots give directions that are not so great. Like literally, here's the best bridges to jump off of because they're the height and success rate. And then I know. Hold the face. It's okay.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's real. No, it is. And that's how I dove into it, is because all of a sudden, it was kind of serendipitous. Like Mike was actually at the same time going down this path, asking questions and doing some research. And he's the one that brought it up to me. And he was like, no. And I said, what's really weird is we've actually been talking about this. And he was like, oh, well, I was going into it because of this. And I was like, well, we do live together. So, but so there was all these things that I was finding. So then I was like, well, what about holistic and metaphysical based off of Raquel's experience and pulling cards and putting all of that in? And we were talking about astrology. And the fact of the matter is, as Kokali knows, there's already AI bots out there for all these things specifically. Like,
Mhm.
and that's been a thing, right? Like that's not new. So there's like a online psychic chat. There's a psychic by Tarot, which is all kinds of different types of modalities, and then Astro Guide, Ask the Oracle, these different things. And the nice thing is it's like instant access. They definitely don't. Some of the concern people have is the ethicist. That was a word. I'm gonna make it up.
I'm like, which one's coming out? Which one's that? Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
So
So funny.
ethicalness. How about that?
Mhm.
Like that
Okay.
was pronounceable. And cultural sensitivity. And so some people like there's no they have found like errors, right? And then at the same time, there's people that are concerned because it doesn't like go into the part about what was the words that were used in that? Spiritual authority. And so the way that the bots are created and how the experience is when you're in different AI is it doesn't necessarily go into the disclaimer about the spiritual significance, and there's a concerns about being trivial, and like also about respect and transparency, because a lot of times especially if it's someone else's bot you're using, they don't have the perimeter set up for privacy, and so it's recording still. So anyways, that's all I had. I wanted to just share that. I know that we were like super excited about it. And what was this? There was one more thing. I'm trying to scan my notes because there's like 5 pages of it. Oh, being able to discern actual mental health challenges and vulnerable individuals. So yeah, there you have it. I'm done. I just wanted to bring that up and share it. And then also, okay, so does anyone have anything to add to that? Because I have a whole bleh.
I'd like to like what stuck out to me was spiritual authority. Like how could there best be what would be a best practice for like trying it out without totally like committing to one platform or one whatever. In 12-step rooms, for some programs, it's recommended like, hey, try 6 meetings to decide whether or not this is for you. So like try 3 platforms, try 3 whatevers, try 3 different things and see like which one resonates. I wouldn't recommend 2 because there's more than just the binary.
Right.
Like 3 to 5. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, you can do 1 a day for 5 minutes and just try them on. Yeah,
Or never
spiritual
stop
authority.
trying,
Yeah,
right? Because they
like there's
are evolving so quickly.
yeah. And maybe check out the responses with somebody who's trusted if you have somebody who's trusted, or find somebody to partner with for this experiment. Like,
I love that
DM
word.
one of us. Mhm.
I love that word experiment. I mean, I think that just 100% based on the research points that you just shared, Jessica, I think it's so important for us to remember that we have to have discernment. We need to use our experience, our wisdom, our knowledge with how we apply that when we're using these bots. And we're talking about in this field of personal spiritual development, but it's the same if you're a coder, right? Like your core values, your ethics need to show up. Your experience, your wisdom needs to show up when you're engaging with AI and determining how you're going to use AI and what your aim is. And let us remember, it is a tool. It's not a magic wand. It's
So
not meant to.
go ahead.
It's not meant to replace other experts. It's certainly not meant to replace licensed professionals. And in this area in particular, you know, it's an opportunity to be entertained and explore and adventure, as opposed to think this is going to solve my problem.
Right. I did like that it mentioned like it's like journaling because you're
I like that.
engaging,
Yeah.
it's asking prompts. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense because a lot of times it's asking questions to help you get to what it is you're trying to unpack, right? Like I see a lot of people use it in business and they're asking questions along the lines of like, this is what I'm trying to do. What do I need to think about? What do I need to look at? And I think that that's super helpful. And it's the same in our lives, right? Like I had this crazy day. Here's all of the different things I did to try to settle down. And, you know, I'm still trying to unpack what happened and how I can, you know, all these things. You put all of those in and it can come back and be like, okay, well, box breathing didn't work. Did you try, you know,
Right.
XYZ? Or how did it make you feel during that time? Like, is this, you know, and kind of giving the person that you, I love the discernment. That's like one of my favorite words. One, because it's just a fun one, but also just the meaning behind it, right? And I'm kind of curious when we're looking at this, not specifically the topic we've been talking about the last couple of weeks about, you know, using AI, but in general, do you guys feel like people are really good with discernment and how they recognize it, what that means? I know. Thanks, Wendy. Thank you.
Wendy has the best faces ever.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Go tell us because I exactly the same. Oh, you're like
hello. 2 points. Yeah. You know, I'll speak for myself. I could always use more. I could always polish more. I could always this, that, more. If you're unfamiliar with the term, maybe start, maybe check it out. Maybe I'm like, this is about you making your own decisions. And like, for me, discernment has a direct line to quality of life. What feels like a fit for me, like the unspoken thing in so much of the noise that's currently available, previously available, is that there's a silent, like, couple extra words on everything. And that is like, this is the truth. For me is the silent part. This is my opinion. This is for me. This is what's right for me. Always silent. And we never learned, we're taught, discerned, like, oh, that's theirs. Who is speaking? That's theirs. Who is, even if it's an authority person, even if it's a parent, even if it's somebody that you love and trust, for them, like, that is theirs. What is mine? Like, does that fit? And that's where a lot of, like, you know, run around happens and happened for me. Oh, this is the thing for them. Is it for me? I'm going to have a lived experience in order to find out.
Well, and it's like the pass off of, like, when you're not having discernment, you're not having your own thoughts, your own judgment, your own, like, you're going to have an experience, but is it the right one for you? Because you're kind of following and not leading. Yeah.
Right. And what's the motive under that? Like, am I depending on this one thing, AI, or this person, or this program, or this relationship? Am I depending on this one thing for XXX, and it better show up because I was told this is the thing?
Right. And so we have
ask me how I know. Right.
Yeah. Can we talk about our own inherent bias?
Yes,
like,
please.
Because this shows up in relationships, right? It shows up in our conversations, like that we bring our bias with us like a massive suitcase wherever we go. And we certainly bring it to our interactions with a tool like AI. Like, here's my side of the story. Tell
Mhm.
me I'm right.
Right. And
Totally.
provide a
Totally.
blueprint for
Yeah.
my, like affirmation.
Tell me what I want to hear, please.
Yes, do. And I think, like Jessica, when you talk about how we use AI for business compared to how we might use it for personal conversation or issue or story that we might be going through, it's completely different, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's in business or in education, academia, it's like we're looking at facts and structures and models and saying, okay, what models apply to what I'm trying to do? We're not naturally trained to treat our personal, psychological, or spiritual development in terms of conversations about models, of pathways, of different tools that I might use, unless you're very adept, unless you're very experienced. So I think that's a whole opportunity to have conversations, offer training, if you are a professional, licensed professional or otherwise, of how you might use AI in this area, in my area of expertise, and like help guide people so that they can learn discernment and so that we can learn to set our bias aside in those conversations in order to receive the best benefit, which is part of the reason we go to professionals, right? Because we want to benefit from their expertise and experience outside of our own bias so we can shift and grow and heal and love and okay.
Well, and
I
we
think
want their experience, but we also want to be reflected, right?
Yeah.
Like we want to be held in that or witnessed in that. Jessica, what were you going to say?
I'm picking dog hair out of my mouth right now because she just came up and face planted me. I don't know what the deal is, but the dogs are like, we all need to fit on your lap right now. So there's two thoughts I have on it. Like one is the bias, and the other is back to the discernment. So with bias, there's two pieces to it that I think people, just to kind of clarify, I don't want people to get idea that bias is bad. There's bias that is part of your own personal brain programming for your brain to keep you safe. You have biases based off of experience. However, the challenge and why sometimes that becomes tainted is because people get stuck in their bias. And so, I'm not going to go to, like, especially like when we're looking at like enlightenment and growth, like someone can have an experience with a particular modality or practitioner, and it will create a bias that either improves or decreases at their trust and ability to think that they
Absolutely.
can improve, right?
Right.
So, and I'm saying this because like that's a bias, right? You have that
Yeah.
safety thing where your brain's like, we did this before, it didn't work out, and here's why. And so you have to overcome that. And so that growth piece is the part of the bias that we try to overcome when we know it's logically it's a safe thing. We just are in this situation where our brain is like, hey, settle down. So I think that especially with the noise that we have going on today, like some people are just like, there's all these workshops about how to stop having biases. And I'm like, well, hold on, people.
No, no, no,
That
no.
is
Okay.
like a human safety thing.
Can I just clarify though, like in my point about bias, like I have been witnessing people saying like this experience happened and they go to the AI with a preconceived notion, a bias about their version of the story of this is what I think happened and this is why I was right in that situation. There's an inherent bias there. Therefore, the inputs, the prompts that they put into the AI is guiding the AI to validate, to self-validate my pre-existing bias, as opposed to a neutral prompting of here's just the facts. How else could the situation have gone? What are possible outcomes? Like more of the language that you were talking about business, like how can you teach me, show me how I could improve through this situation, as opposed to how can you validate my bias, which is if we're talking about consciousness, if we're talking about growth and personal development, my bias is going to help keep me stuck at a lower stage, whereas openness and curiosity and adventuring is going to help me grow.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I was just bringing it up because I know like people latch on to that one side of it, and it's like, no, this isn't to
100%.
chaos. This is, it's a, you're using it in the actual definition. So, but yes.
Emma, what do you think as a hypnotherapist talking discernment?
It's so funny, actually. But it was funny a moment ago, Jessica. I'm like, I have a big bias that hypnosis works, and I tell everybody, and I'll stand on that hill too. No, I was actually thinking it's maybe like a few thoughts ago. So sorry if I'm rewinding a little bit, but it's so interesting when I ask my clients a question of just, what do you want? That's the hardest question for them to answer. And it shocks me every time that, or even when I teach people about like when you're on your phone and you're scrolling, like you're in a hypnotic state, and then you leave and you're like, do I really think that? Or someone just told me to think that. And now that is still, that's stuck inside of me. And so I don't even know, like, how do I actually feel about this situation? Wendy, what you were saying. And I catch myself in that too. Like I saw this thing, I'm like, oh, I agree with this. I'm like, no, do you really agree with it, Emma? Let's take a beat. I know that was many thoughts ago, but yeah, that's my fear with AI in this like ongoing conversation, is that people are going to kind of forget how to tune into their own truth, into their own curiosity, their own desire. And I think, as you're saying, Coco Collie, like coming to it with more of a blank slate, like these are the facts of the situation, you know, teach me, coach me, help me without, you know, me kind of manipulating the situation a little bit.
Because I have the power.
I'm sorry. That was my laugh. Yeah.
Oh, can I just talk about some fun that I had with AI? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, Jessica.
It's okay. I just want to say that I believe discernment is very much like what Emma's talking about. When you know yourself, which people don't. That's kind of the whole problem, right? When you have your own core values, you have identified and can back and support, and you have your own beliefs and understandings about this paradigm that you're in. When you have all of these understandings of yourself, that's when you are in a situation where discernment is, you can make decisions. You have discernment, you know, all these different things, because you know who you are. You know your intent, your purpose, what you're doing, and kind of have it figured out. Which, I mean, most of my courses are about this, so I can say that most people don't have this, and that's why I was asking, because Emma, it's like a whole time over there, girl. I'm gonna
You looking for your
what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, here we go, and Emma's muted. I don't want to find out what she's doing. I'm good with that.
But you need help with the body.
right. All I can imagine is like, okay, someone's at the door. I don't know. But anyways, it's all of those pieces of really understanding what is going on in your life and your truth, but without having your core values and understanding yourself. Like, how does that happen, right?
Yeah.
Like Emma said, people come to her and they're like, I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
So I want a celebrity crush. This is what led me to my latest adventure with AI.
Okay.
I enjoy. I'm Piscean, Cancerian, Gemini. Like, there's something for me that, like, oh, who's my celebrity crush du jour that like keeps me happy in life and even keeled. Okay, so and that was even killed, not unevenly killed. Okay, so I decided, let me ask AI who would make an ideal and compatible celebrity crush for me. And it has my astrology stuff. So based on my astrology, it like goes, and I was just, I'm like, used to People magazine, right? You know, the Rolling Stones, like, here's the hottest man on earth. This would make a great crush because this person is amazing. They do these things, right? Like, that's kind of where my mind was going. But no, it went deep. It went deep, and it was like, based on your moon in this and your Taurus and that and da da da, you would be compatible with. And it was like, wait, what? And so then I was like, well, tell me my ideal celebrity crush, alive or dead, or who's the best politician version or historical figure version, or who's the best athletic version. Or so I ended up in this whole rabbit hole about celebrity crushes. And one of the historical figures it suggested would be a great celebrity crush was Alexander the Great. And I was like, wait, what? Wasn't he like crazy violent? Like, what? What happened? But it also said
We have an heir. That's discernment.
Prince?
There's an heir.
Did you say Prince?
Like the Purple
I can see
King,
that.
Prince.
Yeah.
I was like shocked and surprised based on what I know about him. But then I thought, you know what? That's totally true, because he would totally scare me, like really scare me if I met him in person, because he's so like bigger than life charming. And I have to say that like kind of that energy like catches me off guard every time. And it's like, wait, what? Hi, what? But then the creative, you know, part, and just the being able to be playful but also serious, like all of these things that it spelled out was totally on point. So I had a lot of fun. And I also want to say, watch out Posh Spice, because my number one athletic one was David Beckham. You're welcome, David. Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love
Okay.
it.
And I also love, this was completely not based on appearance or anything, right? It was all based on like chart connection. So it was just fun. Pure fun.
I love this. And stay tuned next week. Apparently, we are going to deep dive Coca-Cola's love life. Thank you all for joining.
Let's hear it for
imaginative.
fun. That's
I love it.
awesome. That's awesome.